Welcome back to Only Talk Sports. We talk sports every single day, or at least we try to. I'm your host, Jeffrey, and subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Now, Week 12 in the NFL season is in the books, and I'm going to go over and break down all the games and the results and see what I think about them. On Thanksgiving, the Buffalo Bills beat the Detroit Lions 28-25. The Buffalo Bills are now 8-3. Josh Allen had 253 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. He had 78 rushing yards and a touchdown. He played much better, and he looked like he was playing at his pre-injury form. And the Detroit Lions are now 4-7. They're playing much better this season, but they still have a long way to go if they want to be a really good team. Jared Goff had 240 yards and 2 touchdowns. They played very well on Thanksgiving Day, but they just could not get the win. The Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving beat the New York Giants 28-20. The Cowboys are now 8-3, and the Giants are 7-4. On the Giants side, Daniel Jones had 228 yards and a touchdown, and Dak Prescott on the Cowboys side had 261 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. And Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard had over 150 on the ground. So the Dallas Cowboys played really well, and they got the win. In the last game on Thanksgiving, the Minnesota Vikings, who are now 9-2, beat the New England Patriots, who are now 6-5, 33-26. Mac Jones, he had 382 yards and 2 touchdowns. He played really well. And on the Vikings side, Kirk Cousins had 299 yards, 3 touchdowns, and interception. And the Vikings played really well, and they were able to get the win. Now moving on to Sunday, the Cleveland Browns beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 23-17. The Tampa Bay Bucks are 5-6, and the Browns are 4-7. Tom Brady had 246 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Jacoby Brissett had 210 yards, a touchdown, and interception, and Nick Chubb had 116 yards and a touchdown on the ground as well. The Cleveland Browns got a really good win over the Bucks, and the Bucks are really struggling, and it's the Cleveland Browns' last game before Deshaun Watson returns. The Cincinnati Bengals beat the Tennessee Titans 20-16. That was a really good win for the Cincinnati Bengals, who now moved to 7-4. The Titans are 7-4 now as well. Joe Burrow had 270 yards and a touchdown, and Ryan Tannehill had 291 yards, no touchdowns, and no interceptions. And the Bengals were able to sneak out a win in kind of a lower scoring game. The Miami Dolphins beat the Houston Texans 30-15. The Texans are now 1-9-1, and the Miami Dolphins are 8-3. Kyle Allen had 215 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. He played for Davis Mills, who the Texans sat. And Tua Tagovailoa had 299 yards and a touchdown. The Miami Dolphins are playing really good football right now, and they got an easy one over the Texans. The New York Jets beat the Chicago Bears 31-10. The Jets are 7-4, and the Bears are 3-9. The Bears did not really play well in this game. Justin Fields did not play either. Trevor Siemian, 179 yards, a touchdown, and interception. And Mike White for the Jets, who was playing instead of Zach Wilson, had 315 yards and 3 touchdowns. So he played really well, and the Jets got a good win. The Washington Commanders, who are now 7-5, they beat the Atlanta Falcons, who are now 5-7, 19-13. A really good win for the Washington Commanders. They've been winning a lot of games lately. From the Falcons, Marcus Mariota had 174 yards, a touchdown, and interception. And Taylor Heinicke had 138 yards, 2 touchdowns, and interception. He played pretty well, and the Commanders' defense played really well, and they were able to get a win. The Carolina Panthers beat the Denver Broncos 23-10. The Panthers are 4-8. The Broncos are 3-8. Russell Wilson had 142 yards and a touchdown. And for the Panthers, Sam Darnold played this time, and he had 164 yards and a touchdown. And the Panthers played really well. Their defense played really well, and their offense did just enough to get the win, and they were able to beat a really struggling Broncos team. The Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Baltimore Ravens 28-27, and kind of a surprise win. The Ravens are now 7-4, and the Jaguars are 4-7. Lamar Jackson had 254 yards and a touchdown and 89 rushing yards, and Trevor Lawrence had 321 yards and 3 touchdowns. He played fantastic, and the Jaguars got a really good win. The Los Angeles Chargers beat the Arizona Cardinals 25-24. The Chargers are 6-5, and the Cardinals are 4-8. And for the Chargers, Justin Herbert had 274 yards and 3 touchdowns. He played fantastic. And Kyler Murray returned for the Cardinals. He had 191 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception, and 56 rushing yards and a touchdown. But it wasn't enough, and the Chargers got the win. The Las Vegas Raiders beat the Seattle Seahawks 40-34. A great win for the Las Vegas Raiders, who've had a struggling season. They're now 4-7, and the Seahawks dropped to 6-5. Derek Carr had 295 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. And Josh Jacobs had 229 yards and 2 touchdowns as they were able to get the win in overtime. And Geno Smith had 328 yards and 2 touchdowns and interception. He played well too, but the Seahawks just fell short in a really good overtime game. The Chiefs beat the Rams 26-20. The Chiefs are now 9-2, and the Rams are now 3-8. The Super Bowl Rams have really fallen apart this season with a few players gone and some of their other players that they have returning being hurt. Bryce Perkins at 100 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions as he filled in for Matthew Stafford. On the Chiefs side, Patrick Mahomes at 320 yards, a touchdown, and interception. And the Kansas City Chiefs got an easy win over the Los Angeles Rams. The San Francisco 49ers beat the New Orleans Saints 13-0. A very easy win for the 49ers. The Saints did not play well in this game. They're now 4-8. Andy Dalton at 204 yards and no touchdowns or no picks, but there's just not a lot of offense going on for the New Orleans Saints. And on the 49ers side, they're now 7-4, and Jimmy Garoppolo with 222 yards and a touchdown, and they were able to get a really easy win over the Saints. On Sunday Night Football, the Philadelphia Eagles, who are now 10-1, beat the Green Bay Packers, who are now 4-8, 40-33. This was a really good game. Aaron Rodgers really tried. He had 140 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions, but he got banged up. And Jordan Love came in and had 113 yards and a touchdown. But they were just not able to get the win. And the Eagles are playing fantastic this season. Jalen Hurts had 153 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Jalen Hurts also had 157 rushing yards. So he had more rushing yards than passing yards. He's playing very well, and the Eagles were able to get a really big win. And on Monday Night Football, the Pittsburgh Steelers, who moved to 4-7, they beat the Indianapolis Colts, who were 4-7-1, 24-17. Kenny Pickett had 174 yards through the air. And on the Colts side, Matt Ryan had 199 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. And Jonathan Taylor, 86 yards and a touchdown, but they fell short, and the Steelers got a much-needed win, even though both teams are really struggling this season. So those are the Week 12 results in the NFL. A lot of crazy results. The playoff picture's starting to shake out a little bit. We're starting to tell who's going to be able to make the playoffs and who's not. It's going to be very interesting to see how it all shakes out. Comment down below what you thought about Week 12 in the NFL and what were the biggest results and takeaways from the games. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Like this video down below, and I will see you next time.